Welcome, everybody, to Phandom Knights, where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. I'm Chris.
I'm Dustin.
And I'm Sherman.
And today, we are talking about Wandavision. Season 1, Episode 1.
Are there...
It's one
I don't
season
think...
only.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Is there have they announced another
I was just
season?
hesitating because I'm like, is there a name to this episode? No. We're just going to call it
have
the
names to them.
1950s.
Uh,
We'll just do it by decade, I guess.
So when I was like writing notes this morning, I was literally calling it based on what the episode is like
based off of.
Yeah. So this would be the Dick Van Dyke episode.
Yeah. So let me just read this quick. This is off of Wikipedia, done by Matt Shackman. So we don't... Or sorry, that's who directed the episode.
Also some I Love Lucy feel.
So this is episode 1. A newlywed couple, Wanda and Vision, move into the town of Westview during what appears to be the 1950s. They attempt to blend in despite Vision being an android and Wanda having telekinetic abilities. One day they notice a heart drawn on a calendar, but neither can remember what the occasion is. While Vision goes to his job at Computational Services, Inc., Wanda decides that the heart represents their anniversary. Their neighbor Agnes introduces herself to Wanda and helps her prepare to celebrate that night. Vision amazes his co-workers with his speed, but is unsure what his company actually does. He is reminded that he and Wanda are hosting his boss, Mr. Hart, and his wife for dinner that night, which is what the heart represents. Wanda and Vision struggle to hide their abilities while making a last-minute dinner for the Harts. While interrogating Wanda and Vision, Mr. Hart chokes on his food, and Vision uses his abilities to save him. All these events have taken place on the fictional sitcom Wandavision, which someone was watching on television. And also, there's a commercial during Wandavision's program that advertises a Stark Industries Toastmate 2000 toaster oven. Oh, spoilers, by the way. I just had to say it. The whole time I was reading that, I'm like, oh, I should have said spoilers before this.
Chris, what's our bending numbers for this episode while we're at it?
I did not count them. So yeah, what'd you guys think of the episode?
It was alright.
That's it? I thought you said it was really good.
I know. Why do you think I do it so much? I thought it was good. I thought there was a lot of small Easter eggs that you weren't somewhat of a hardcore fan, you wouldn't know. Like if you weren't a comics fan, I don't think you'd know any of the Easter eggs.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely that. So you just think it's all right? It's good? Yeah. I don't know.
I thought it was. I loved it.
I told my wife last night after I watched it the second time, because like I watched the first and second episode that Friday when it aired, and then I kind of thought about it. I knew what the show was going to be kind of about, some type of pocket dimension, some type of who knows what. Right? It was going to be something along those lines, some alternate reality, who knows. But when I first watched the 2 episodes, I was kind of bored, honestly. I'm like, this is just like boring sitcom crap that no one cares about, like whatever. But then after thinking about it for a couple days or a day and then watching it again, I'm like, there's so much depth in every line, every shot, every ad, every little thing that is on the screen in this, that if they pull off what I think they're trying to pull off, I think that this is going to be, this sounds crazy, but like the greatest TV show of all time, like hands down, with the amount of planning that went into it. And if they execute it well, so far it's like, there's all these little things like what we were talking about on another episode of, looking back at the Marvel movies and all the Easter eggs they planted in there, now they're reusing those as something else. If they use all the stuff and it's all seeming to build to something, it's going to be one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
You know what it's leading towards, right? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Well, yeah. There's stuff like that it's leading towards, but there's a number of things it could be leading to, but it's just awesome to see. I mean, through the whole episode, there's 3 planes of action on every shot and line and everything, and it's just impressive that there so much thought went into something that was executed so perfectly. So I went from like, this is just boring. I mean, I might as well just watch a Dick Van Dyke episode because those are at least funny. This one, I just like, but the second viewing, I'm like laughing at every joke. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Whoa, they just did that. That means 10 different things. And I'm just like blown away by every little thing.
Seriously, by the end of the series, we're going to have like Charlie Day's conspiracy theory board going on.
Like right now we have to have that because by the end of the series, maybe we should probably.
We got a week.
We should. Maybe that's a good point. Maybe I should think about that.
We got a week till the next episode.
Like, you know those conspiracy theory walls like behind us? No, this connects to that, and this is over here.
Hold on, let's pull out our Wandavision board. What do we got?
Instead of a vision wall like people make, do a Wandavision board. Anyways, that all to say, we kind of read through this synopsis and stuff, but just going scene by scene, what notes do you guys have? I mean, this is kind of just going to be a general discussion. We don't have like a plot breakdown. I just wanted to get the plot out of the way, and then let's just kind of talk about what we thought and what we saw. So
I think because of the way that they like wrote these episodes, that like it's gonna be a lot of that where it's just like, all right, well, everything is very like vague, and it's just like, all right, we're just gonna wash over it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of understand because like if it's her manipulating reality, which is like her power, like wouldn't you want to be like more like fly under the radar and like out of like the view,
like all the
this is your stereotypical like 50s TV show,
right?
Like unless you're like 90 years old watching reruns, who's gonna be watching this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I was, again, with the 3 planes of action with everything, every line that comes into it, there's like, the sitcom-y situation, where, like, oh, the neighbor comes over and is asking questions about, or I'm trying to introduce myself as a neighbor or something like that, but, no, that's just the sitcom situation, but then there's, like, the reality and, the reality-altering situation. I didn't know what to name it, I guess. That's just what I named it. The reality-altering situation where, no, this is an alternate reality, and the neighbor coming over is trying to influence Wanda to do something. Like, she's literally the driving force of the whole episode is the neighbor, Like, the heart is on there, but the neighbor is the one who's, like, planting all these ideas into Wanda's head. Like, oh, no, what are you going to do about seduction? Isn't it your anniversary? Yes, it's our anniversary. Well, because ideas.
I don't know about that either, because, like, she's asking actual, like, questions, though, like, oh, like, are you celebrating something big, like a birthday?
But again, like, to me, that's, like, the sitcom level, like, it's just, I'm just a neighbor, I'm just interested in your life. Oh, what kind of hobbies do you have? What kind of whatever? But what's really happening is I'm telling you what your hobbies are. Or, like, by suggestion in a way. And then the third plane of action is what's happening in the real world. Like, outside of all this stuff. And so, like, everything that happens in this episode has 3 different things to it. It just was...
Planes?
Yeah, really good. So, what'd you guys think of the beginning of the episode? August 23rd. I was trying to look up what that meant. I didn't see anything about what August 23rd meant. They didn't have a year on the calendar, which was kind of interesting because every calendar has a year on it.
Right.
I did see something about August 23rd being the date that they officially announced the cast for Wandavision last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's one thing. Nothing like in Marvel Universe, but...
Yeah.
I put the indestructible head comment. My husband has an indestructible head when the plate hits him.
I know.
But I was like, Thanos literally ripped your head apart.
Yeah.
So not so indestructible.
But again, every line in this thing, like, has tons of meaning to it. Like, indestructible head. Oh, that's calling back to when Thanos ripped your head off, basically.
Right.
And then it's also saying, like, oh, my husband and his indestructible head, meaning my husband that I created again with an indestructible head so you can't die anymore. Like, whoa, does that mean that you recreate? I don't know. There's just so many things you can read into it, which brings out, like, the conspiracy theorist in me. But, like, if some of this stuff pays off and, like, all the built up things, like, no, she created another universe where Vision can be and he's indestructible now and, like, all this different stuff, then it's going to be one of the greatest episodes or series of all time. But so August 23rd, you guys didn't find anything about that one?
I tried looking before I came, but I couldn't find nothing to do.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't.
People are thinking like, oh, maybe that's when the snap is, but then on Wiki, whatever it says that it's in the springtime, so August couldn't be.
That would have been really cool if it was that.
I was like really hoping it was that, but then the article said no, it can't be because like Endgame has it listed as like early spring or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like darn. Because I can't think of any other events. Mm-hmm. Maybe Sokovia. What if she's dreaming all this while she's in that jail cell in Sokovia from Age of Ultron?
Well, she wouldn't have known Vision at that time.
No, she's part of the Infinity Stones. Who knows?
Yeah. When do you think this takes place? Like, it's obviously
before Infinity War, but
you think it's before Infinity War? I think it takes place after.
How? Vision's
after
dead.
Endgame. Yeah, she can create things at will. Like in the comic book, she can create her own realities, or even her own pocket dimensions and stuff like that. So, and she starts off by doing it subconsciously, and then later on she can do it at will. So her powers are essentially
with the Reality Stone, right?
Yeah, but she has the powers of all the Infinity Stones.
Why?
Well, because she can control time, she can control reality.
How?
There's I don't know.
Didn't explain in the MCU. The MCU just explained that she was fused with the
Reality
Stone.
Right. Yeah. People are just saying she has the powers of all of them because she shows the powers of all of them if you look into it. I mean, she got her powers from the Mind Stone, which she can obviously access people's minds. We've seen that. Mm-hmm. She can... I don't know what
so I guess I'd have to watch Age of Ultron again, but so was she even in the MCU a combination of a few Infinity Stones?
No, she only got her powers from the Mind Stone, which is confusing on where she gets her powers from and how can she have some of the powers she has if she only got it from the Mind Stone? Because we saw on screen, unless it's like a stage prop or some crazy thing like that she burnt a chicken and then she did the same thing that like Doctor Strange does, and she
turns it into
she rewinds the time, so she can control time. Like push time through something like they did in Endgame.
So like in the MCU, every time she would use her magic, you'd see this red glow everywhere and around the stuff that she did. And I noticed that it didn't do any of that sorts during this whole thing. It did it like a 50s or an old style sitcom way where everything kind of seemed like it was on strings.
Right.
So what if her snapping and things turning off, like we never saw her do those kind of abilities ever in the MCU until this show. Like of her snapping things, like she could always telekinetically move stuff, but she can never make things telekinetically appear.
Right.
I think because it's being portrayed as a television show, that like her snapping is like similar, like without the special effects of doing
the
reality.
Another cut.
Well, it's her own reality, so like, which I think is why like it switches, because like, it's trying to be a classic 50s TV show.
Right.
She's changing reality, so like with the comedic version of it, turning a burnt chicken and like
too far. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just had a brain spark. I have to get this out of my head before I forget.
Yeah.
So at the end of the next episode, I know I'm kind of jumping the gun, but
okay,
I have to now. But when she sees the person coming out of the ground.
Yep.
Remember, she was like, no. And then she rewinds time.
Yeah. Right. She has control over time. That's what I'm saying.
So so I'm just realizing that this is her reality.
Exactly.
So this could be after Endgame, and she's missing Vision, and so she created her own reality.
For sure. That's I mean
but for me, I think so. I thought
she's so heartbroken by losing Vision, losing her husband, that I mean, obviously he's not her husband in Endgame, but this whole episode is about don't lose your husband, don't lose your husband, don't lose your husband. It's like said over and over and over again. And what in the sitcom level is like, oh, you don't want your husband to divorce you. No. The reality version, or the reality altering thing, is you need to keep reality intact or your husband is going to disappear because that's the only husband you have right now. Then the real world version is he's dead, and you're just creating a fake robot to, anyways, what?
So I found the significance of August 23rd.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, I know. So this
out of your butt.
Yeah, no, right? So, with this being the first episode for this series, and this is obviously, once again, I'm going to have to do what you did and jump to the second episode.
Okay.
I know.
Maybe it should just be both episodes. Well,
I don't know. I think that's why that's why they released both in one.
Yeah.
In one day, because like
for us to talk about.
So the significance of the 23rd of August, specifically that way, not like August 23rd, because like you have to take it in a European format. Avengers issue number 238 deals with the revival of Vision.
Huh, that's kind of cool.
Huh.
And this specific...
Any numbers you throw out there could have some...
Wait, where's the 8 come from? 2-3, but where's the 8?
August.
Oh, right.
So that... Hold on. So that specific issue, though... So that specific issue, though, deals with Monica Rambeau, who's currently in that issue Captain Marvel, like, helping with the revival of Vision.
Okay.
You're onto something here, dude.
I know. I'm like, good. Conspiracy theory board. Yeah, we need one.
That's real, dude. That's what's happening in this series. Vision is getting revived.
Yeah.
Again, if I throw out a number 739, like we could find some connection with something that's happening.
Don't do
that.
I'm just saying.
But like
Mark,
that kind of connection, though,
for specific reasons.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. If this is all intentional, and if it is all like leading to something, like, man, this is the most intricate, crazy show I've ever seen. So yeah,
you're putting too much emphasis on if and not on when.
I've just been burned. I've been burned by Disney properties in the past. That's all I'm gonna say. Endgame didn't really, but man, Star Wars had some.
So it's a crucially, the issue deals with the revival of Vision after he's injured in an earlier episode.
Huh. Nice.
Issue. Sorry, we're talking about a TV show. Misspoke there.
All right.
Well, that was very exciting.
Okay, so your first note is on the commercial. So I'm going to keep going through some of my stuff. So Agnes comes over, and the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, the annoying neighbor character, which is the sitcom level stuff. I'm just like, whatever. But then, reading about it and seeing the theories on who she is and things like that, and every character in here, I feel like, has something else going on. Whether they came into her reality outside of it, or she created it, or who knows what. But Agnes, after second viewing of it, I'm like, man, she's manipulative. If you look at it and watch it with that perspective, like I said, she's telling her it's your anniversary, and yes, and she manipulates her through questions in a way, and then she says, like, I'll show you how to keep your husband. And keeping your husband, again, has multiple meanings, like I said, of, keeping him married to you in the sitcom world and all these other meanings to it. So, it's just going to be interesting to see how she develops and stuff, and what happens with her, and how she's manipulative, but not in an overt way. So, then we cut to Vision, and he's at his company, working like crazy. And again, this part, I was like, what?
Yeah, the funniest part of the thing. Funniest part.
Which part?
When the dude's like, "You're like a human computer."
A walking, talking computer.
I am most certainly not.
Yeah, but again, stuff like that, like this video could go on long, because I could just talk about.
No, seriously, because the company that they work at is what, Computational Services.
Computational Services Inc. Yeah.
Yeah. CSI. So, and throughout this entire episode, like, Vision constantly questions like, what do we do here?
Right.
And his job though is he as a person is a literal living computer. Mm-hmm. So it's still him trying to figure out what am I supposed to be?
Right. I don't know if you guys can tell, but he has 4 feet of leg room.
I'm sorry.
4 feet of leg room. And I'm just over here like a prissy little girl, yeah, let me fold my legs and crush my squats. Just crush for 3 hours.
That's why half the time I try to keep sitting like this, where I'm except I don't want to rub my balls on.
Okay. That's fine.
All right,
so check out these Easter eggs.
I think I missed that the first go around.
So even the things in his company, what was the thing you brought up? No, I'm most certainly not a computer.
That's what he brought up. But...
Yeah, it's him denying. It's him denying who he really is. to fit in this world.
Oh yeah.
And like that's his whole thing is like I need to deny who I really am. I can't show who I really am. I can't show my powers. I can't show this. I need to hide myself, just like other sitcoms did and stuff in the past. But I need to hide myself so I can stay in this reality. Otherwise, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna so like there's multiple things going on with everything, and even his boss saying your future here, basically in the company, depends on you not hiding anything, because he's like, oh, you don't have any skeletons in your closet, do you? And he's like,
I don't have a skeleton.
I don't have a skeleton, sir. And so, good, because your future here depends on it. And it's like, wait, your future here in this company depends on you not having skeletons in your closet. If you really like dive into like what the words mean, it's like, man, so your future here in this reality depends on you not hiding yourself. And my theory is that this, and it's been online for a while now, but my theory is that boss character is like a therapist who's somehow in the reality, and I can't help but watch it that way, because his...
What do you mean a while? It's been out for 2 days.
Well, I know.
Yeah. The theory's out for like weeks, but it's only been out for 2 days.
The boss character is almost like a therapist saying like, no, you don't need to hide yourself. You don't need to hide anything. Your future existence depends on you being who you really are and not hiding yourself. And by the end of the episode, he doesn't hide himself, and he shows his powers in front of literally.
Yeah, but he only does it when Wanda tells him.
I know, when she allows him to, but he shows himself and he becomes himself. And the boss,
Mr. Hart.
No, I was just trying to remember what he says. But the boss says something along the lines of like, you did very well here tonight, Vision. Right before they leave, like, you did really well.
Literally, dinner wraps up as soon as he's like not dead.
But yeah, he shows who he really is, and then Wanda gets control again, and she's like, no, get out of here, in her head. And then he's like, oh, you did very well here tonight, Vision. We'll talk about your promotion, when we come in on Monday. So it's like the therapist, like, if I'm giving you therapy and you show me who you really are, like, no, we made a breakthrough here. You're doing really good.
A lot of progress.
Yeah, a lot of progress. We'll talk about the steps you've made next time, and, we'll talk to you later. Like, that's what I got from that, more than just... I mean, there's multiple levels to it, and maybe I'm just conspiracy walling here, but, like, that's what I got from it. Like, whoa, this guy is kind of behind Wanda's back, like, making all these little remarks and, like, trying to get Vision to come out of his shell a little bit.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I didn't read that deep into that, but...
Or maybe it's just Wanda's reality, and maybe Wanda just wants him to come out of his shell a little bit, but she also wants him to hide so she can have him. And I don't know. There's a lot of meaning to everything, but...
I think it's Wanda's reality, but it's being forced somehow.
Yeah.
I think someone else is behind her reality as well.
Right. Yeah. Vision has to be perfect, because when his boss is like, oh, don't be like so-and-so over here, he had a whole string quartet, and he just wore a turtleneck, like all these different things.
5-course meal.
But 5-course meal and a string quartet, and that wasn't good enough for this guy. So you basically have to be perfect.
So what does Vision do? He sings yakety yak.
Don't
go back.
I know.
Which, yakety yak, don't talk back. Like, don't ask questions. Don't talk back to me. This is my reality. I'm in control. Don't talk back to me. I don't know. There's so many like things I could talk about, and it just makes me sound like a crazy person. You guys aren't getting as excited about this.
Yeah,
as I
I'm sitting here, dude. Honestly, the whole time, I'm like, dude, you sound freaking nuts right now.
Right?
You're like way too like excited over like what people give me crap for, all these moon conspiracy stuff. You're like, I'm so excited. I'm just like, you sound freaking like you need to be in a home, dude.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If my conspiracy wall is correct, like, this is going to be the greatest episode ever.
Yeah,
because the depth of every line in
I
this...
think every episode is going to be amazing.
I know. The depth of every line in this, to me, I'm like, there's a conspiracy under every little thing, everything... I mean... And,
2 episodes
he just
in
leaves.
a row. 2 episodes in a row. It's like, where are you going, Sherman?
Anytime
Hold on.
someone writes something and says something and shows something on a screen should be intentional. And this is like taking that to the max, Like any movie you see, anything you see on screen was done on purpose. I mean, it was put there for a purpose. Maybe accidental, maybe not, but like there should be a purpose behind everything you see in that frame. You have a limited ability to show things for a limited amount of time on any fandom or pop culture thing, and this is like taking that to the next level, and every little thing has a ton of layers of meaning. So I don't know. I'm not explaining myself well, and I know I'm sounding like a crazy person, but I can't help it because I was so excited. It's not that you're
sounding crazy. It's just your eyes.
It's more your eyes than your voice.
You're just like, you're just so wide-eyed talking. You're just like, yes.
No, you guys don't. No, you need to see it. You don't actually see it.
Is that in the eyebrows getting super high, or just like, yes. But I love the passion.
So, Vision's getting nervous, and Wanda the whole time is like, as the story's progressing through this, Vision calls, or Wanda calls Vision, or vice versa, one or the other, and they're what the heck is he doing? I'm just gonna pause it here.
You all right? Don't worry, you're good.
Oh, I thought you fell down the stairs.
Maybe not. No. Okay. So the story's progressing. I don't know how they call each other, but somehow they call each other. And Vision's getting all nervous, which he's getting nervous in the sitcom reality, but he's also getting nervous like this something is going on in the world here, and I don't understand what's going on. I'm questioning things finally.
What do you mean you don't know how they called each other?
I don't remember who called who. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
Vision called Wanda.
Did he? Okay. So Vision's getting nervous about reality, about the situation, about everything, and Wanda is thinking she's in control. And, like, that's what the sitcom level is, but in reality, she thinks she's in control of this reality, but it's actually kind of starting to chip away because Vision's starting to question things. And in the sitcom level, she thinks she's in control because she's like, oh, it's just our anniversary, so I'm going to make this reality inside the sitcom of, like, it's our anniversary date night. But then all of a sudden, like, a curveball gets thrown, and, like, it's not their anniversary, it's just a dinner party. So I don't know. Again,
I'm so, like, conscious about, like,
I'll stop going into every little detail of everything, but it's just I don't know. So then it's all over tonight if it doesn't go well. And what's my note say? By the end, they both show their true selves and choose to lie to themselves and stay in the alternate reality. So by the end of the episode, Vision and Wanda like show their true selves, and you guys want to talk about the stop it scene a little bit?
What scene?
I want to point out too that Vision remembers that she's from Sokovia.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's one thing that he does remember about her.
Yeah,
because they don't remember anything else.
Well, and that's because that's the first reference to like her past.
I also put Vision during this episode is trying to figure out his like purpose of his job, but it always gets vague answers that keep him questioning. Yeah, right. He's like, what do we actually process? We process this and this. Yeah, but what do those numbers tell us?
We process our input and output. What does that mean though?
Yeah. Kitty is in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Which I hope she comes back as like a mom in the 70s episode.
I
would be so excited.
Awesome. What if she's like, what if George Red Foreman comes back?
Please.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't before we did like all the recording today, like I did not understand what you meant when you said Kitty. I did not get into that 70s show.
Oh, you never did?
I never really got into it.
I wasn't like a diehard, but I've seen a lot of episodes because it's good. But
we apparently love pop culture around here, but we don't watch the 70s show.
You can't be a true connoisseur of pop culture unless you watch
that screw yourself.
Show. The 70s show, The Office. I mean, like, there's just essentials you have to watch.
Those two.
That's
all you need. Among many. We're recording. You think
once
I'm
again,
go on a tangent? No, that's your guys' job. So let's talk about the Kitty saying, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" Every time.
What the heck was that? That
was a breach in reality, my friend.
Right?
That was weird. What do you have some in-depth thoughts? Go ahead.
I didn't even write notes on that, but so with my 3 planes of reality thing going here.
Hey! Before we get into the 3 planes, I do like you explaining the 3 planes because now it's going to make me view it in 3 planes from now on.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Episode 2 is going to throw us off with that though.
I know. I want to rewatch it kind of before we go through that one again. But if you take it with that, you watch every line and it just makes you think about, wait a minute, there's a lot more going on here than I thought there was. But so with the stop it thing, it's almost like Wanda, like imagine if I don't know, I'm trying to think of an analogy. Like I put a record on, I can't control what was put on that record. Like this record came in from outside my house and I'm putting it on my record player. Okay. And I'm creating the atmosphere in my house with this music. And so this thing that came in from outside my house, I'm creating the atmosphere in my house with it, but then all of a sudden, like my whole house is falling apart, and I get in a fight with my wife or something like that, and we bump over the record player, and like reality has shifted because something changed in our house, and the last thing that's playing is just like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And the only way that record can communicate with me is by saying that last line. So me, Wanda, who created this universe, allowed this person in almost, and like in my view, the old guy, the husband and wife are two therapists who came into this and is trying to get Vision to open up and to question things. Maybe not therapists, but that's just what I thought of.
Do you think they're trying to get Wanda to break this reality and come back to real life reality?
I think it's affecting the real world somehow, and they're trying to get her to
stop her reality.
Stop it, because something crazy is happening, which I think is going to tie into like the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man 3 and all these things. Like Wanda like lit a match and a fire is starting, and we need to stop this because reality is falling apart because of what you're doing here. So like we're sending people in, I don't want to talk about future spoilers, but we're sending people in to like see what's going on and try to fix it. And so these two were sent in there to try to fix it, but they have to play by the rules of the universe. So as Wanda, I'm allowing you to talk to me, but then as soon as like reality stops and I get freaked out, because like I don't know if you noticed it, but we'll get into it in a second. But once reality stops, then the last thing that person, the input from the outside world, that is the only thing that they can say. So it's like if I stopped and I said the only thing they can say, they can say like you just say the same thing over and over again, and you can have different meanings with how you say it. And so this person's like, stop it, honey, stop it, and it turns from talking to her husband to talking to Wanda,
like
but then ultimately through Wanda, it's talking to Vision, like, stop it, stop what you're doing, and stop it, honey, stop choking. You got to play by the rules here. We can't mess up right now because Wanda can kill us both. Wanda, please stop it, Wanda.
Well,
you're gonna kill my husband. Stop, or my colleague, whatever. Stop it. And then Vision gets up, and then Wanda repeats what she says. Vision, stop it.
Well, with Vision, help him.
I mean, without spoiling it in this episode, like the thing about like one of the things in episode 2 is you kind of get like there's a hidden thing where like it might not just be one organization watching over things. So it could be like somebody else. Like you don't know who's involved.
Right. Yeah, we don't know. We don't even know that these two characters are a thing. It makes sense to me in my view of the universe so far. Third episode could come out.
I don't want to say that they're therapists. I want to say there's someone who works for SWORD or someone who works for something that's involved.
I'm just calling it therapist, but it could be anything. Yeah,
I get it. I'm just saying I like that they're sent in.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That concept is
so
true.
Has to be. The cool thing with those is like, if Mr. Hart and Mrs. Hart are psychiatrists, they're kind of doing like the good cop, bad cop thing. Like if you're having a problem and like you're just terrified of frogs or something like that, like Dustin's super afraid of frogs. Like get over it. You need to get over your frog fear. I'm gonna throw you in a bathtub full of frogs, and we're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna scare you straight, kid. You're never gonna fear frogs again by exposure therapy. That'll work for some people, but some people need the. It's okay, honey. We can talk about frogs. And is it the green? Is it the stickiness? What was it about? Like
Katara versus.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that. There's the nice way and the bad way, and the guy is the like let's throw you in the bathtub version, and Kitty, Mrs. Hart, I guess, Kitty Hart.
She's Kitty.
Kitty Hart she's the nice one. Like, oh no, it's okay, honey, and it's shown so many times in this episode, like how he's just gruff and like to the point, like what's going on here, like when they're at the table, like so when were you married? I don't remember the exact.
It's a simple question.
Yeah, it's a simple question. Just answer it. And
where are you from?
And Kitty,
when did you get married?
Kitty is like, oh no, it's okay. They don't have to answer if they don't want to. And she's just really like touchy-feely with everything, which is another approach to therapy. So it's like,
I think that Mr. Hart lost his cool about the rules of everything. It was like,
right,
you gotta tell me, you gotta tell me.
Not only that, but I feel like it's also a portrayal of 1950s house style.
Yeah.
Do you think the choking was an accident?
No, it was completely intentional.
You think?
Well, I watched it again. This is just my theory, but I watched it again, and I paused it and started it and went back and forth, and Wanda is talking, and then she goes to him. She stops, looks at him, and she's all flustered, and she goes, she blinks.
What?
And as soon as she blinks, he starts choking. And it's like, dude, she just put something in his mouth.
No, he was already chewing on something.
Yeah. No, he was talking. Maybe he was talking, but she looked at him, blinked, and then she instantly started choking. So I'm like, again, if this is all intentional, it's genius. If it's not, I'm just a conspiracy theory with a crazy wall. That's what I'm saying. She's all flustered. She stops for a second, looks at him, blinks, and he starts choking. And so, yeah. Anyways.
I want to see that little cut of her blinking. That'd be interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm doing when I get home. Watching WandaVision again.
Right.
Seriously, I'm going to, because I want to look at this from a third plane view now.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You suck, dude. I have schoolwork to do. I gotta watch WandaVision again.
Too bad.
Too bad, Free Will. You suck.
Let's talk about... You guys want to switch gears here and kind of talk about that commercial a little bit?
Yes.
Let's talk about the commercial.
Which one?
The first episode.
The first one.
Okay.
So the Stark Industries brand new toaster.
Yeah. What you guys think?
I thought it was just... honestly, I thought it was just a little bit of fan service. It's one of Tony's dad's creations.
Hmm.
I mean, there's probably some deep meaning that you're gonna get to
one
in seconds.
level. Yeah.
Well, this is
That's one level.
This is the first obviously episode. So first instance where you get color in the episode.
Yeah. Which I didn't notice the first time. I'm like, I don't know.
I only watched the episode once. How did you not notice that?
What'd
you miss?
There's
the red blinking light on
the blinking light on the toaster is red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first time. I was paying too much attention to every other thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, red.
Anything that the color red would appear, they made it colored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the only time in this first episode.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Not in the second one.
Yeah.
Also, with this commercial, I don't know if you noticed the sounds that were involved in this.
Yeah, I heard someone say that it was Iron Man sounds.
It is.
I don't remember what. Is it the alarm bell when in Iron Man's suit?
When he pushes the button down to start the toaster, it makes the exact same sound as Tony's suit when he's bringing a new weapon out. Yeah.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Right?
Wow. I watched it the second time and I was gonna look for that.
Oh, but his repulsor cannon,
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was the Toastmate 2000. It was a new and improved machine. This is how I read it. A new and improved machine that's waking up in a way. The machine, if you look at the toaster, it looks like a face. There's two knobs and then a smiley thing. And then right where the light is kind of where Vision's gem is kind of on his head. And it's there was an old machine that was burnt to a crisp, and burning the toast to a crisp. And then there's this one that's coming online, and it's getting beeping faster and faster, and it's waking up almost.
What he was saying.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why because they had similar thing with the light in the middle like that, and especially with the fact that it was a Stark creation.
Do you think it's the revival? This is hinting at the revival of Vision, maybe.
I think
that's what that makes it sound like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Saying a new device powering on,
the
old one dead, burnt.
There's a lot of things that this is hinting at, and a lot of things you could read into it.
I want to hear it.
No. So
any
So you said machine.
Any bells need to be answered.
You specifically said machine, and it made me think if AIM is involved with advanced idea mechanics, them potentially creating a new body for Vision.
Yeah.
To maybe.
No, his body's there. He just has a mind.
No, because his head was literally crushed. Remember?
Just a little. I mean.
Well, imagine like just reaching out with a clump of
I know.
skull.
Let me take your entire frontal lobe out.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, you still live.
I mean, I think your motor function.
But again,
dead.
if Wanda was able to take that body and somehow like finish the wiring that what's her name was doing on it in Infinity War,
Shuri?
like they were taking the stone out and they were rewiring his brain.
Shuri.
They were rewiring his brain, but then Thanos obviously really damaged it. So if Wanda can alter reality, if she can put that back together, and now Vision's waking up, like he's starting to question things and become a person.
Yeah,
I don't know. It makes sense. And obviously, there's tons of other things you can dig into.
This is what I'm worried about, because like I feel like they're gonna have so many of these little tiny Easter eggs that it's gonna be like 90 red herrings.
Yeah,
be like, this all didn't make.
That's
didn't
what I'm worried about.
Do crap.
Like, if all the stuff set up and hinted at and like played around with, and the 3 levels and all this different stuff pays off to something, then it's genius. But it's just
this is the MCU being like, all right, you guys keep like trying to like spitball ideas, and we're just gonna be like, you know what, just enjoy the freaking TV,
watch maybe they're just like no, you're reading way too much.
Exactly,
it's just a sitcom. Like calm down.
That'd be fun.
But I also feel like they have writers that sit and just go over and over and over and over and over this stuff.
Yeah,
dude, Marvel has the same thing as like Lucasfilm has. Like they have their own story group who keeps track of the continuity.
Right.
So,
but I feel like Marvel has enough properties out there and enough things in the works where like this one isn't getting as much attention as like Rise of Skywalker did. Like I feel like the story group didn't. I was going to say that they failed. They didn't fail in that. It was just executed poorly. I feel like, but I feel like it was.
Well, because I mean, you can have
because
like
too many people were involved in it. Like everyone was trying to make this perfect, and in this one, it's like everyone who's involved in it is making it perfect, but all of Disney isn't behind this. Like I don't know.
I know what you, and it's 2 different aspects too, because you have to close out a whole
It's
saga
a completely
for
different
40
thing.
years compared to like, here's a new show.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like I trust the writers on this one a little bit more than, because there's not as much pressure on it. You can kind of you can play and have more fun with this thing,
right?
So they can build their own pocket universe and just do what they want to with this,
And like you were saying with like the numbers earlier, like because of there's so much backstory and like comic history, you could literally like writers could be like, you know what, like it'd be funny, let's put this in there, and like somebody like you, obviously, who's like conspiracy theory, this number means so much, and be like,
speaking of numbers, there's 4
Jesus
flashes.
Christ.
There's 4 flashes on the toaster, and then there's 17 beeps that get faster and faster. So I was trying to find out what those mean. I have no idea. There's 4 phases. No, there's 3 phases. 4 phases.
They're going into phase 4.
Phase 4.
This is phase 4.
The 4 beeps, phase 4. I don't know. I'm really reaching with these ones. And then 17, Kevin Feige's been with Marvel for 17 years. So there you go. I don't know. That's all the information I could get.
So next,
right? All right, commercials done. Thank you.
We're pretty much at the end of the episode.
I thought these were cool.
When we get to the end of the episode and Wanda and them, they kiss and they do the typical 50s sitcom, like, look at the camera thing.
Yeah. Ooh, we should do that when we end.
And have it close out as their faces get closer. Yeah. So the names that popped up on the screen, I tried looking up a bunch of them, and I only found meaning for like 2 of them. And a bunch of them are just made up characters, it seemed like. Yeah. Like, I was really hoping the director, Babs Digby, would be something. It was nothing.
Yeah.
But I did find something for Abe Brown. Apparently he was in Spider-Man. Far From Home, apparently.
Really?
Apparently he is an alumnus at the Midtown School of Science and Technology and a former member of the decathlon team of the school.
Okay. That's all you found on him?
Dude, I got home from work at like 2 o'clock, had to eat, had to do like a couple things.
Sorry, no.
Didn't have time.
All you found?
No, apparently his character is actually like a major martial artist, and he's worked with like Iron Fist, and like all of Iron Fist's like people.
And that was
Abe Brown.
What was his role on the show?
He was like one of the directors.
Yeah, he's labeled as a director.
Okay.
He's like the one right underneath the director, because I put him in order that came down. Leonard Hooper, Pamela Brewster, Sammy Addison, Miriam Norton, Felix Rislow, Kathy Collins, and then the epic symbol. Should we talk about the symbol?
The
The sword symbol?
The sword symbol.
So was there a sword symbol in this episode?
Oh my god.
At the very end, remember when it pans to the person watching WandaVision?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Abe Brown is part of a trio of martial artists.
I didn't remember that in the sitcom portion.
It's part of a trio of martial artists called the Sons of the Tiger. They were introduced in the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, comic magazine published by Magazine Management, which is a sibling company of Marvel Comics. And they're recurring characters in the world of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu alongside Iron Fist, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, and Shang-Chi.
What if we got a glimpse of Shang-Chi sometime before his movie? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How did you not notice the sword symbol, though?
No, he did.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was in the sitcom portion.
Oh, no.
I remember the sword system. Yeah.
No, there's not one in the sitcom until the very end of next episode.
Yeah.
There's two.
So, the other thing I have, and we kind of covered it already, is when either Wanda or Vision, mostly Wanda, I guess, gets flustered, like the lie breaks down, reality starts breaking down. So as soon as they get questioned about something or like they're thrown off a little bit, like reality breaks down. And the first time you see this is when Wanda sets up this romantic evening and she comes in, guess who? And like, oh, we're having company over. And she's so thrown off by this that like she loses, in my mind, control over Vision. And Vision's like, oh, don't mind my wife. She's European. And, you know, we talked about how she's like from Sokovia and stuff. And like they're, by her losing control and getting all flustered and stuff, it brings kind of some of the real world into it a little bit in that little scene, which again happens more and more throughout the episode from that point on, and then also in the next episode and so on. So it's like, when she gets flustered, like the lie breaks down a little bit and stuff happens. And then when they leave, when the Hearts leave, like, so, oh, she's European. She always greets people this way.
Yeah, Kitty does that.
Yeah, when the Hearts leave,
we are leaving.
Yeah, it's just like a like I'm saying touchy feely. I don't know how to say it right now because I can't think. But
compassionate.
A compassionate therapist. You know, like gets into your own world. Like if you were like, no,
I understand what you're saying. You don't need to dumb it down for me every time.
No, I know.
He's trying to figure it out himself.
I like using analogies. I like using analogies. If I can like use an analogy to describe something, it helps me understand it too. I'm not doing it.
That's why I said he's trying to figure it out himself.
Yeah. But like, if you told me that anytime you, Sherman, greet Dustin, make sure you go up behind him and cover his eyes. Otherwise, he's gonna flip out. Yeah, he's gonna flip out if you don't cover his eyes every time you greet him. And that's how Kitty read it. So then when she leaves, you know.
I think she was just playing a joke back.
Well,
yeah, I think it was a sitcom.
Watch her facial reaction, because when she's done with the stop it, then she's like, okay, we gotta go, and she's all nice, and she's like, we are leaving, and then she's been happy and bubbly and smiley and dancing all night, and then now we are leaving, goodbye, and then she shakes her hand, and then like her face is terrified. I've never seen someone look more terrified ever in a thing, and she's terrified, and she leaves, and I don't know.
I haven't seen terrified
again.
You gotta show me this.
Once I'm all
couple
into
quick looks.
We're gonna watch it once we're done here.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It was just really cool because like she's like, okay, we need to get out of here and be as calm as possible. Like, sun's getting real low, buddy. And like, leave. So
I do think that there are going to be a lot more like tiny like references to other things in not necessarily like grand scale, but like do you guys notice his Vision's like wardrobe? Like his tie had like a little diamond in the middle.
Yeah.
So that's a reference to one of like a Vision comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a comic written by Tom King and I gotta get this right. Gabriel Hernandez Walta.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was from memory, dude.
Right? I told you I wrote it down this morning and forgot my notes. But the comic that they wrote was about Vision living in a suburban life.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a diamond tie clip, but instead in this one they just gave him like a diamond on a tie.
Oh, okay.
And it's So this is weird because it's a throwback in a throwback. Because it's a throwback to the comic.
That's what I'm saying. There's levels.
The comic,
everything from his little tie has like 6 different meanings. Like,
but the comic, the diamond tie clip was a reference to his original like green superhero suit because it had like a diamond like chest piece going on. So they're trying to keep his original like costume going more and more. So I'm just hoping that like there's not like a million different tiny little things like that.
I read that as it was I didn't see it as a diamond. It was a box with 2 dots inside of it and then 2 dots outside of it.
Yeah.
And I read it as this box has 2 dots inside of it, Wandavision, and then outside of it is the rest of the world in reality. But that's kind of how I read it. I'm reading way too much into a tie, man. This episode had me like spinning in circles by the end, and I'm like, "This is genius."
Chris is losing it.
It's genius.
This is the greatest ever.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's all I have. Do you guys have anything else for this episode?
No.
No.
Overall, had an I Love Lucy or Dick Van Dyke feel.
Yeah.
To the sitcom feel. Mm-hmm. No other strange stuff.
I mean, I didn't even get to like the homages to like old school shows like The Wire Work, like you were talking about.
Whoa.
I mean, it was on just the sitcom level. It was awesome to see all this stuff again, and like the layout of the house was exactly Dick Van Dyke. Well, almost exactly, but it was pretty dang close. So I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got. Dustin, you want to take us out?
Oh,
I'm looking at that tie. You're right. So there's a dot on each top side of the square. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if it's supposed to be like Wandavision in the small circle.
That's what I'm
thinking.
But
2 opposing forces trying to enter. Because you've got aim and sword.
Yeah, interesting.
Boom!
Solved it. Man.
Unless they're the same thing.
They're not!
In the MCU, I'm saying.
They wouldn't. Well, they wouldn't combine 2 things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, they're not
that stupid. Especially because they already did the whole, like, Winter Soldier, where, like, Hydra was invading S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, why would they do that again?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phandom Knights on our coverage of Wandavision, episode 1. Pretty excited. There is no season. It's just episode.
Okay.
It does say season 1 on Disney Plus, though.
There won't be a second season, so just... Okay. There might be.
Modern sitcoms, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and to iTunes and Spotify podcasts, and become a Phandom Knight on Instagram and Twitter. Join our Facebook group where you can talk to us or let us know what you guys want to see next or hear next. And as always, thank you guys for watching. And my Star Wars throwaway thing is, may the Force be with you.
No. Just make it super awkward.